They got it.
A day of big-name matchups. In the air, it's Randy Moss.
They call me the freak.
And T.O.
Who can make a play? I can.
A career-type day on the way for one of the league's big two receivers. On the ground, former teammates and two of the league's best run head-to-head. What about the winless? Somebody's got to win. Would McNabb run or pass the Eagles to their first win? Who'd stay perfect? While the Tuna looks to go 2-0 in the Jersey Swamp. Down a field goal, 2 seconds on the clock. You make the call. We've got a shocking call from Houston on NFL Primetime. Next.
NFL Primetime is presented by Miller Lite. Primetime is Miller time. And now, here's your host, Chris Berman.
Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to Week 4 of NFL Primetime, the first weekend in the fall, the last weekend in September. Tom Jackson, good to see you again. And for those celebrating, Happy New Year. It is that sort of time. And for a lot of teams, 6 undefeated teams going in, it seems like a brand new year, but there are others already, little tension filled.
I just can't believe we're a quarter of the way through the season for some teams, and a lot of things already getting decided. It's just very interesting.
Like the Swamp should be eliminated by about Halloween. The next two Super Bowls played today. No, not the next two Super Bowl teams, but the hosts of the next two Super Bowls, and that would be Houston this year and Jacksonville, with Mark Brunell, number 8, Hurts, number 7, Byron Leftwich, the rookie quarterback, getting his first NFL start. Play fake, and well, you know what? They're faster, they're bigger, they cover better in the NFL, Tom. That's Kenny Wright picking off one of 3 for Houston against the rookie Leftwich today. So, it's a 17-10 Houston lead in the third. And just signed this week, the former Steeler Troy Edwards with the one-handed grab. And he could go all the way. 84 yards to tie the game at 17. Later in the third quarter, the pitch back to running back LeBrandon Toefield. Not a tofu sandwich, it's a Toefield throw to Mark Edwards, 32 yards, tricky jag.
Yeah, you run the toss here, watch the safety, Eric Brown, gonna bite on the fake and watch him realize that the receiver is blowing by me right now. Touchdown behind him, Edwards.
Biting at Toefield. What are you talking about? So they lead to a field goal, 20-17 Jags. But then the big play of the game, Leftwich does a good job of getting away from the rush, but doesn't tuck it in. And Brown strips the ball. Matt Stevens recovers for Houston with 2.5 minutes to go. So now here's the drive. It's now 1.5 minutes to go. Second and 8, David Carr to Dominic Davis. St. Dominic's preview, 14 yards, 15 seconds to go. Davis stuffed short. 9 seconds to go. On second down, enough time for a couple plays? Well, it's incomplete to Andre Johnson, and let's take a look. Gaffney says I was open.
He's wide open in the middle of the field.
Third and goal, 6 seconds. Aren't you gambling here? Incomplete, but pass interference. So it's first down, but look, there's 2 seconds. You got to kick a... No! They don't kick a field goal. Dom Capers has David Carr leap over and go for it when you're down by 3 with 2 seconds to go. Dom Capers gambling. The Texans win in amazing fashion. Nobody ever does that. Houston, they're 2-2. They beat the still winless Jaguars 24-20. And afterwards, we didn't even sing. You know what? Let's do it.
Dum 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 dum.
Talked about the call.
As far as the last call, when we had the ball there on the inches, I just felt that we had a number of people that were down, and I felt confident with our guys up front and with our quarterback and his athletic ability that probably if we couldn't make 2 to 3 inches, that we didn't deserve to win the football game. And fortunately, it worked out. There was mixed opinions on the sideline of whether we should kick the field goal, and some guys were cheering to kick the field goal, and some guys were cheering to go for it. So that's one of those decisions you make, and when it works, it's great.
Well, let's back it up a minute. He had to make the decision really 3 times. 9 seconds ago, all right, you probably can run a play. Then you saw incomplete. 6 seconds ago, most coaches kick on third down because if there's a fumbled snap, maybe 1 second to go, we have a fourth down kick. Now, 2 seconds to go, you're going to run for it? Nobody does that, Tom. I give Capers Look, you could say he's a fool if it doesn't work, but look, this is a young team. It's a perfect spot.
All about the character of this young football team and the character of that coach. He wanted to win this team over, and everybody who's on this team, as long as they stay Texans, they will remember this moment. Dom Capers had faith in us, got us the win. Guys may have not agreed with the decision to go for it, but everybody loved the fact that they made it.
I'm thinking back to Mike Tice.
That's
go
right.
for 2
That's
to win
right.
a game at the end of the year. I don't think the Vikings have
They've
lost
been winning ever
right?
since.
And maybe the Texans. Way to go, Dom Capers. What a gutsy play and a well-executed play. New England at Washington. Pair of 2-1 teams. This is very interesting with the all-ball coach, Steve Spurrier, in a passing game against Bill Belichick and the great defense. However, 9 of his opening day starters were out, mostly on defense. So Tom Brady says, well, you guys that are left, let's go. But if Yannick Ohalate picked off, and the Patriots down 6-3. Brady picked off twice in the first half. He would be picked off 3 in all because there's another one. Next Patriots drive, it's Champ Bailey right before halftime. Washington had the lead 20-3. The Patriots fumbled inside their own 5, and Washington puts one in for the lead. But now Brady playing with the sore and the sore elbow. Watch this to David Givens. Is that pretty or what, Tom? 20-10, Patriots within 10.
Yeah, and we're going to take another look at this. David Givens at the top of the screen. Watch the little hitch and go. You've got a great move right there, the hitch. There to go, froze the corner, and a nice throw by Tom Brady. Right there, and a great catch by David Givens.
All right, so now maybe it's a game. It's a 20-10 game, and Brady has a fullback named Larry Centers, who, what does he do? He catches the ball. It's a 7-yard touchdown with 2:10 to go, and believe it or not, Centers has more catches than Steve Largent, 7 on the all-time list. Fake onside kick, 3rd and 6 Skins, after they threw a couple of times so they don't run any clock out, which was curious. Then a false start. So now 3rd and 11. And then a false start again. 3 penalties, couple of throws, so they don't burn any time. So on 3rd and 16, Spurrier, who ran more than he threw, make a note of that. To Patrick Ramsey, is this pretty to Lavernius Coles? But they rule it incomplete, and they review it, Tom, and they view that he didn't have to, the ground helped him make the catch.
Let's take a look at what the official saw right there. This is an outstanding grab by Lavernius Coles. Got 2 feet in clearly, and the ball came out when he hit the ground. He's trying to explain that to Coach Spurrier right there.
They ruled it the ground. He didn't have total, whatever it was close, but the Patriots get the ball. But on 3rd and 4 from the 40, a draw play to Centers. Only 2. And so it would be a 55-yard kick for Vinatieri, who's one of the best in the game, but not necessarily one of the longest. So now on 4th and 3, it's incomplete. And just like that, they get a break with the Skins play calling and execution, or lack thereof, and then a series of curious plays by the Patriots. I can't fault not kicking the field goal, but they just didn't get close, and Washington wins for the 3rd time.
And yet the most important thing I think about this win for the Skins, you said it already, the old ball coach ran the ball more than he passed the ball.
28 runs.
He has come around.
28 runs, 22 passes. So intriguing. The Skins, 3-1. Still ahead on NFL Primetime. Once high-powered, the Bills now just look to score against the winless Eagles. A titanic battle in Steeltown turns ugly quickly for the home squad. The Broncos try to snake their way to a mile-high 4-0, while the Jets go fishing for tuna and their first W. And get a T.O. Terrell's fuming, while Randy's running through the D.
NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite. Grab yourself a great-tasting low-carb Miller Lite. And in part by Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers. And Visa. If you love the NFL, it's everywhere you want to be.
Bluebirds out in Philly, 0-2 start by the Eagles, then a bye. This is Sam Dana. The 100 is yes. He's the oldest living player that stayed in the NFL. He played for the 1928 New York Yankees. That's Donovan McNabb, who feels like the oldest living player, the way they've been booing him in Philly lately. But did they come out well against the Buffalo Bills? And he came out a new man.
Todd Pinkston against cover 2. You see him get the one-on-one coverage at the line of scrimmage. Great job and great touch by Donovan McNabb.
On the same drive, well, this, you know what he can do. And he's having fun doing it, Tom. There's so many times the West Coast, not the West Nile offense, like you said this morning, when they script the first 15, 20 plays, they look the best. Corral General Bachhalter into the end zone. Clink! You're an idiot. Eagles lead the Bills 7-0.
And again, Donovan McNabb going to see the same coverage. Corner up. This is cover 2. Safety going to be coming over again. Great touch. Sneaks it in just before the safety can get over there. Receiver James Thrash. Nice outside relief. Good play. Good toss and catch. Quarterback wide receiver.
13-0 Eagles at the half. Now 16-0 fourth quarter. Drew Bledsoe, because of Henry's out of Morris, said I got no running game. So the dump to Joe Burns, really is the running back, at least at this moment, gets a first down. 4th and goal from the 3. Here comes Buffalo. Bledsoe. Look at Bledsoe on the move to Bobby Shaw. They go for 2, don't make it. It's 16-6. Bills ball again. So now all of a sudden, after being dormant for essentially 2 straight games on offense, Molds 23 yards. And 4th and goal from the 1. Bledsoe touchdown. Extra point good. 16-13. 3rd and 7. 2.5 to go. McNabb, not a big pocket, but he stayed in there to thrash.
Great job of hanging in the pocket, not having the nervous feet, and making the kind of play you need to make.
And then here it is, trying to run out the clock. They do better than back. Brian Westbrook from Villanova could go all the way. Touchdown! His 62-yard jaunt salts it away, and the Eagles win a game they had to. Buffalo, after that great start, is now back to earth at 2-2. Philadelphia wins it by the count of 23-13. And look, Tommy, it was clear to see what offensively and defensively Philly did in this game. Buffalo was shackled without the running game, as we talked about, but 34 carries for 177, even with the 62 yards.
I think that Andy Reid certainly wanted to take a little pressure off of his quarterback, and he wanted to take some pressure off of that defense. And the easiest way to do that was with the running game. 34 carries, 177 yards. That got Donovan McNabb comfortable. The defense couldn't be leaning in those track stances, coming at the quarterback. They were back on their heels. Very successful effort by the Eagles, and I'd be amazed if they didn't continue to run the ball in the upcoming weeks.
We took a guess that would happen.
Yeah, guess.
Now, here's what Philly's done now. Big picture, 1-2, not great, but their next 3 games are home to Washington, who's in first place, then they play Dallas, then they play the Giants. They get right back in it, all divisional games. And for Buffalo, yeah, they got to get moving once again. That opening day seems like a while ago. Here we go. The Bengals, who will visit Buffalo next week at the Browns. Corey Dillon listed as questionable, but he would get the start against Cleveland. And speaking of start, with Kelly Holcomb fractured leg, Tim Couch making first start of the season. And look at this. Quincy Morgan, it's just a little toss-out, Tom, but he's gone. 71 yards. Second play of the game. Here we go again. Yeah. Browns lead the Bengals.
You see a guy make a play like that, you know that your offensive line is doing an outstanding job. We're going to spotlight the center, Jeff Fain, right here. First-round pick out of Notre Dame. Comes to the outside, going to get the great kick-out block. You see Quincy Morgan spot the seam, hit it just in time. Once he gets through, Fain makes that block, and he's off to the races.
And now the Bengals. Game tied at 7. The pitch to Corey Dillon. A short run, but he's going to come up lame here. Leaves the game with a groin injury. Did not return. So we move third quarter 14-all. John Kitna. Play action. Kelly Washington touchdown. First lead of the season for the Bengals. 21-14. Kitna had already thrown a bomb that was beautiful, right, Tom? A 40-45 yard in the air. It was great. Couch sacked by Tony Williams. Here comes the Bengals defense with 3.5 to go. Next play, flag on the play. Couch called false start. So now 2.5 minutes left. 2 plays later, 3rd and 17. Couch, Quincy Morgan. It's a... Ooh, he dropped it. Morgan bummed. And now, but the next possession, the Browns have a chance. Couch, sacked by Justin Smith. And look at this, Tommy. Is that the nail in the coffin? He's putting the nail in the coffin. Well, this drove the stake through the heart. Boom. Jeff Burris with the pick. Well, they can't get Marvin. Marvin Lewis, congratulations. Your first win as an NFL coach. Your Bengals are playing much better. Today you're rewarded with a win. They haven't practiced that Gatorade thing a lot, though, in Cincinnati. Time they'll get it down.
They'll get the hang of it.
They win it 21-14, and no turnovers for the Bengals.
Yeah, and look at the 3 TDs, 23 for 31. Kitna had a good day, and from myself, congratulations to Coach Lewis.
When we return, Cardinals upset the Pack last week, and they're going to St. Louis and do the same. Emmitt Smith with hope. And late games, the Oakland Raiders with their hands full against the winless Chargers. Overtime. What happened? Sunday Night Football, the 3-0 Indianapolis Colts trying to hold serve. The undefeated teams that played during the day won. Could the Colts, in a big homecoming for native son Peyton Manning in the Bayou, win over the New Orleans Saints? With highlights, Linda Cohn.
Homecoming for Peyton Manning, back where his dad Archie played for 12 years. Colts led 7-0 already in the first. Manning 8-9 in the first quarter for 103 yards. Look at Marvin Harrison. Did you miss this? Tips it to himself. Professional. Second quarter, more of the same. Manning and Marvin Harrison. Great play action here by Peyton. Throwing long for his good buddy. Beats the coverage. He's all alone. Wow, Manning came into the game with just 3 touchdown passes in 3 games. Where do you see what he finishes with?
I believe he was going to add a little bit?
I think so. The Saints were missing 5 defensive players. Colts striking again. 62 times these two have connected in their careers. 6 touchdown passes from Manning.
Next week on ESPN Sunday Night Football, the Cleveland Browns looking to bounce back from their loss to the Bengals, face rival Pittsburgh. The Steelers coming off that defeat to the Titans. ESPN Sunday Night Football, 8:30 Eastern, right after NFL Primetime. Now back to you, Chris, and the rest of the show.
Arizona off the upset of the Packers at the St. Louis Rams, who lost last week, and they lost Marshall Faulk. Tells the replacement Lamar Gordon, let's go. Cardinals behind 17-0 early, and this is, Tommy, we laughed up watching this. Emmitt Smith, look, the guy's still charging. He stopped on second down. He stopped on third down. What did they say? They made a movie, right?
That's right. The longest yard, here it is.
That's on fourth down. They're going to go for it, and Emmitt is in the end zone. His first touchdown as a Cardinal. It's 17-7. It's actually interesting. Cardinals at St. Louis. For us old fellas that remember that. 20 seconds left. Mark Bulger towards Torrey Holt, intercepted by the Super Bowl MVP Dexter Jackson. And so he's trying to make something happen for Arizona, but 8-7. No, it's a fumble. Rams recover. So what happens? It goes as a net gain. And wouldn't you know, Jeff Wilkins kicks a 53-yard field goal, and it's 20-7. St. Louis at the half. Jackson saying, I guess it's not the Super Bowl. 23-7, third quarter. And Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Josh Scobie from Kansas State turns Wilkins around about 15 times. Touchdown. 100 yards. They go for 2, don't make it. 23-13. So Arizona in the game, not for long. Bulger, Isaac Bruce, passes Henry Ellard, and they've had some great receivers in this franchise history, from Crazy Legs and Fears all the way through. He's got the most, over 9,700 yards, and then Bulger to Holt for the score. And in the end, the Rams pull away 37-13. Holt caught 12 for 133. Bulger throwing for 272 yards. By the way, Tom, the Rams had the ball over 42 minutes.
Really?
Over 42 minutes. 83-36 in plays. Who won?
Well, obviously the Rams won the football game, and I think they went to the formula that we see for success. No Marshall Faulk, no problem for this football team today. They had Lamar Gordon in the lineup, and they knew how to use him. Gonna take a look at a team that we think of as a finesse football team. 2 tight ends out of the I formation, first down and 10 in the first quarter. This is one of the oldest plays in football. You pull both guards, you lead and kick out with the fullback. Lamar Gordon does a great job of spotting the hole, a la Marshall Faulk. Good quickness getting through it. Then down on the goal line, unbalanced line to the left side, only 2 people to the right of the quarterback. You know they're going that way. Again, they pull the offside guard, the kick out, tight end goes to the second level, and Lamar Gordon does a great job of getting through the hole and getting to the end zone. When you see a number 41 carries, 133 yards for this football team, I think I have another coach who gets it. Coach Martz understands how to win games.
Well, and they did it against the Cardinals. They controlled the ball for almost the whole time. When we return at NFL Primetime. No ifs, ands, or buts. Joey Porter back at home for the Pittsburgh Steelers as they go up against nemesis Tennessee. And talk about a mano-a-mano. Randy Moss and Terrell Owens. Would it be a battle or would it be a one-sided decision?
Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
The Titans and Steelers had an amazing playoff game won by the Titans in overtime, the one-time division rivals. And Joey Porter, a great story. He's back playing at home for Pittsburgh. Just 3 weeks he missed action. Tommy Maddox, who certainly has had his own troubles last year against Tennessee, sacked by Rocky Boyman, my second cousin. Not ruled a safety on the field, a challenge by Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, you can see clearly Tommy Maddox didn't get out of the end zone. The officials reversed the call, overturned it, safety for the Titans.
Well, changed the tide because it was 10-0, Tom, at the time. Now it's 10-2. Look at Steve McNair with people draped all over to Drew Bennett over Chad Scott making the catch. And that was just, he's amazing. He stands there, looks like he should go down. Here's McNair now with the touch pass to Bennett. 10 yards, and it's now a 10-9 Steeler lead. 13-9 Pittsburgh second quarter. Samari roll. Get out of that kitchen and rattle them pots and pans. He's shaking. He's rattling. He's rolling almost in the end zone to the 1. Leads to a Titans touchdown, and Tennessee leads for the first time 16-13. Third quarter. McNair. Woo! To Justin McCarron. 29 yards, 23-13. And Tommy, let's see what McNair sees.
Well, you're going to see the too deep look, but one of the safeties is going to come up. He spots the other safety going to his left. He's going to come back to the man-to-man coverage at the bottom of the screen. Chad Scott on McCarron's and deliver the pass over the top. Read the safeties, throw to the single coverage side.
Now with the score 23-13, my cousin Rocky Boyman makes the interception, and he could go all the way. 60 yards for the second-year man out of Notre Dame. Good speed there. And the Tennessee Titans do what they always do against Pittsburgh. They've won 10 of their last 12 against the Steelers, 4 of their last 5 in Pittsburgh, winning 30-13, despite the fact that out first down 25-9, they didn't get 200 yards. Is the quarterback, does he have anything to do with it?
Well, you look at the numbers there. He only threw for 161 yards. 3 of them were touchdowns. Look, all big plays, and 15 of 16 throwing. You can't get better than that at his position.
He makes all the throws. He's as good as it gets these days. And I know, Tom, you think he's pretty tough.
Pretty tough guy.
Well, it was to be a face-off, and the guys in the league, Randy Moss and Terrell Owens, Moss came in a little later, no one's in the league, almost a dead heat as far as individual numbers are concerned. And so we got all set for the undefeated Minnesota Vikings and Randy Moss at home against Terrell Owens and the Niners, who started so well, but at 1 and 2 figured they would have to come out fast and furious. So here we go from the Homer Dome, and there's all sorts of excitement in Minnesota. The Twins are in. They're going to be playing the Yankees in that building. The Vikings are undefeated. Terrell Owens not thrilled last week. Only field goals to the loss to the Browns. Randy Moss, close to 300 yards, 16 catches this year thus far. Dante Culpepper, though, not starting. Bad back. Gus Farad is in. And look at that throw he makes to Randy Moss. He beats Ahmad Plummer for the jump ball. 15-yard touchdown. Jeff Garcia just picked off by Corey Chavis. Just a bad-looking turnover here. And now, wait a minute. Minnesota, what are they going to do, Tom?
Yeah, I think that people are starting to learn that Coach Mike Tice is a little bit old school in his philosophy. The first run, and this is one drive. Ontario Smith for 6 yards off tackle. Then Mo Williams going to get the call for 4 yards off tackle. Ontario Smith, another 11, up the gut. Mo Williams, 6 yards up the gut. Doug Chapman going to get a chance here, up the gut. Nothing tricky about these plays. Mo Williams, and finally, Ontario Smith caps it off with a 5-yard touchdown run.
The geography is wrong, though, because the province above it is Manitoba, not Ontario, but a touchdown. And so Terrell Owens said, all right, let's go to me now. Late in the first quarter, drops it. Now with the score 14-0 Minnesota second. Watch Gus Farad. You go up to interview him, Tom. He looks like Dan Fouts. 35 yards to Moss. He beats Zach Bronson, a different sort of touchdown, 21-0. Now, Niners to Owens Garcia. That's a nice play by Brian Williams. Now it's back to Gus Frerotte. Shotgun, slings it. Oh, it's a touchdown, but they rule that Moss is pushing off on Rashad Holman. So Frerotte says, you know what, I got another receiver. Here's Nate Burleson. Takes a licking and keeps on ticking. Touchdown, 22 yards. The route is on. 28-0. Kevin Barlow, 4th and 1. Stuff late in the third. That's the offensive coordinator, Greg Knapp, and Terrell Owens with an earful. Not a very pleasant sight. Fourth quarter, Frerotte, 59 yards. Holman beaten. Touchdown to Moss. And the Minnesota Vikings are 4-0. They draw and quarter the 49ers, who after an opening day win have now dropped 3 in a row. Frerotte, 16 of 21 for 267, 4 touchdowns. I guess, Tom, when you haven't thrown much in a couple of years, your arm, you could really air it out. But afterwards, Terrell Owens, not a happy camper.
I'd say it's a gut check. I mean, I'm so frustrated to the point, I mean, I know what I had to do to get back on the field. I mean, I had a rough offseason, you know what I mean? I worked my butt off rehab-wise just so I could be ready to come in here and try to be ready for a season opener to help the team. I mean, I'm out there playing, I'm out there beating guys. I mean, what else can I do? I'm doing the things designed for us to do in the offense. I'm trying to get a release. I mean, every time I go deep, it seems like the ball's going out of bounds. I mean, it's not like we were just not connecting, you know. I mean, I didn't really get frustrated with Tim. He's coming in there, and he tried to get the ball to me. I was open, but you know what? At that point, it was too late, you know what I mean?
Well, look, when you lose, you say a lot of things. It's just not so constructive, that's for sure. And Randy Moss hadn't been a choir boy either. The numbers on the day, obviously you didn't see the difference in the tail of the tape. The Niners have a lot of work to do in more ways than one all of a sudden, Tom. But as far as Randy, you know, when the Vikings under Denny went with 6 or 7 in a row just a few years ago, right, in 2000, they were ripping it off. And then in '98, when they ripped off all those wins, it was like almost unstoppable. It was like pitching to Barry Bonds when Moss runs like that.
Yeah, and I think it's a lot like that right now. But Randy Moss doing a great job of letting the game come to him, and Gus Frerotte doing a great job of understanding the talent that he has at his disposal. We'll take a look here at this extra point and realize that cover 2 being played against Randy Moss all day with a corner up, safety going to come over the top. Here the safety's a little late. The blitz coming from the top side. Randy Moss gets into a jump ball situation with Ahmed Plummer. You can see he has a distinct height advantage. We'll take another look at the end of this play. Look at the difference in height right there. Randy Moss, a great job of focusing on the ball, and maybe nobody better in the history of this league at getting up and catching the ball over an opponent. Again here, corner up, do something to impede his progress. He jumps inside, gives Randy Moss a free run at the safety. Randy Moss just wants to get down the field, and on this play does a great job of keeping his hands down until he sees the ball, focus on it. Again, amazing jumping ability, great athleticism, getting his feet down. You know, these are not great routes. This is Randy running down the football field, nobody stopping him from getting where he wants to get, and then you don't have the ability to get up and make a play over.
I mean, you can't.
I think you have to impede his progress at the line of scrimmage. I think you have to be physical with him at the line of scrimmage, do things to keep him from getting down the field.
The Vikings, when they're in the flow, they're in the flow.
Yes, and they are right now.
They'll get Culpepper back eventually, but Frerotte, boy, he stepped right in. It looks, you interviewed him, he looked great, you know? You go up to see Tommy Kramer, he'll look great. When we return, the 0-3 Chargers pull out all the tricks to try to stun the Raiders. Jake Plummer off a big Monday night. Would the Broncos struggle at home against Detroit? Late game highlights coming up. San Diego Chargers have lost every game by 2 touchdowns or more, but the Raiders, didn't know that Marty Schottenheimer's 20-6 against him lifetime, obviously primarily with his days as Chief. Marty unleashes plays like this. LaDainian Tomlinson, who was quarterback, Drew Brees, Tom. Oh, man, it's just like they drew it up. No pun intended.
Yeah, works if you get outstanding man coverage here. Kasim Osgood going to be in the slot. You see the receiver drag across the field. Once you get everybody pressing that man coverage, you get Drew Brees after the handoff, releasing outside. Every Raider realizes it late, a little too late. You got Drew Brees at the goal line.
So here is Oakland desperate at 1-2, and they're going to give up LaDainian Tomlinson, who ran like this when they won up there last year. Look at him go, 55 yards. Tomlinson had 187 yards rushing today, 21-14 lightning bolts at the half. Down 31-17, Rod Woodson and the Raiders stymied. But Rich Gannon to Jerry Rice, 24 yards. Later, Gannon to Alvis Whithead. He outwitted the Chargers with a 36-yard score. It's 31-24 with 4.5 to go. The Chargers punt, 3 minutes left. Gannon, Rice. Jerry had a big day today, 7 for 118, down to the 42. Gannon, Rice to the Chargers, 28. Now we're down to a $1.50 to go. And the run is the Charlie Garner trap up the middle. 24 yards, touchdown for Bill Callahan and company. We go to overtime. Raiders inside their own 10 in overtime. Gannon, Rice, down the sideline. Pretty, 28 yards. Later, Gannon, Tim Brown to the 35. Sebastian Janikowski trying to win the game. And from 46 on the dirt, not an easy kick. A shot right through the uprights. Good. And the Raiders win in overtime. 34-31. They escape. The Chargers, who by far and away play their best game of the year. Tim Brown, by the way, had touchdown. His 99 TD reception ties the legendary Don Hudson, 4th on the all-time list. Boy, the Raiders escaped.
Well, good win for the Raiders. Jerry Rice didn't look very old during the last 2 quarters of that game, and including the OT. And, boy, you can't play much better than the Chargers played offensively.
And now the Broncos off that Monday night shellacking of the Raiders at home against Detroit. And this is Joey Harrington. Wait a minute. To the rookie Charles Rogers, 33 yards, the first time the Broncos have trailed all year. 7-0 Detroit. Jake Plummer to Ashley LeLay, touchdown, we're tied at 7. Then watch Al Wilson on his ex-teammate Olandis Gary. Boom, right there. Plummer continuing his Monday night mastery. Now looks for the veteran Rod Smith. Quick toss, and Smith does some nifty running between the Lions for 22 yards. Then Plummer, slant to Lely, and that's 16 yards. Second to go from the 1, Plummer. One of 16 straight completions for Jake Plummer. That's Shannon Sharp, his 50th touchdown catch. That's a Broncos team record. 17-10 Broncos, 4th quarter. Harrington, under the blitz, finds the cross to Scotty Anderson. Watch this. Whoop! Nice cutback. Touchdown. 17-16. So the extra point is going to tie the game. But the snap from Bradford Banta low. John Jett can't get it down. The Lions, who haven't run a road game since 2000, missed the chance to tie the game. And Mooch goes, well, there must be something to this 17 in a row on the road stuff. Less than 2 minutes to go, the Lions down 4, 4th and 10. Harrington broken up by Lenny Walls and Nick Ferguson. And so, in a game in which Mike Shanahan gets his 100th career win, congratulations to Mike. The Broncos 4-0 heading to their game with Kansas City next week. Shannon Sharp passes Hall of Famer James Lofton, 10th on the all-time list with 766. Denver in a donut game, maybe, Tom. Raiders last week, Chiefs next week.
And it's the kind of game they'll look back on and say, boy, you know, were they lucky to win this football game? I think that they may have had a little bit of a letdown. Looking forward to the Chiefs next week. But this is a game with big, important win for the Broncos at home.
Well, what a pair of home games so far for Jake Plummer, huh, Tom? Now, here we go with the Falcons at the Panthers. Last year, Carolina did not have this man, Stephen Davis, a 29-yard run, and Davis has run up the middle makes it 7-0 Panthers. Why is this important? Yeah, we know there's no Mike Vick, but last year, Atlanta beat him twice by the combined score of 71-0. That's his first Carolina touchdown. Might as well write it down, Tom. What do you do? Write it down. And now here's some Carolina defense. We know about them.
You're taking a look at a little defensive twist that they run here. Deion Grant and company, Ward Dunn, the blocker. They have more people coming than you have blocking them. Witherspoon gets the sack on Doug Johnson. Then we're going to take another look here. Look at the 4-down linemen, and this is what they do maybe as well as anybody in this league. They collapse the pocket. They're good, athletic, big people. Just collapse the pocket on Doug Johnson right there. He has no place to step up. Al Wallace gets that sack.
And now Johnson in the third quarter sees the Panther defense again. There's the blitz, steps up. It's another sack. Falcons try to get something going. Jay Feely, see me, Missy. 55 yards, a little bit much to expect. It's tipped by Kemp Rasmussen. So another blocked kick, the 6th of the year for the Panthers. Then, this guy may be the most perfect fit of all the free agent signees. I know there are others that are making marks like Coles, but Stephen Davis, 34-yard run. 3 straight 100-yard games, we might add, for the Carolina Panthers, who just lambasted, really, the Falcons 23-3. Tom, they won a game in the fall. Tom, they beat the Atlanta Falcons, who they couldn't do. And the Panthers are 3-0. Very impressive, including a win over the Bucs. A team to keep our eyes on. When we return, Jamal Lewis and Priest Holmes started off as a defensive struggle with the Chiefs and the Ravens. Would either one break out? And another trip to the Meadowlands for Bill Parcells and the Cowboys. Would it be as sweet as 2 weeks ago when they beat the G-Men?
He didn't get touched. Touchdown, Priest Holmes. Lewis, he's going to walk in. 10, 5, touchdown. We've just seen history in Baltimore. Leaps into the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City.
The mission for Ray Lewis to stop Priest Holmes. But, of course, Lewis is Jamal Lewis on his squad. The number 1 and 2 yards from scrimmage guys in the game. But Jamal Lewis on 4th and 1 at the 8 trips and doesn't get the first down. So, surprise at the scoreless game. The highest scoring team in the league of the Chiefs. Priest Holmes stuffed for a 3-yard loss. So, here they've scored 110 points, Tom, in the first 3 weeks. 3-0 Kansas City at the half. Now tied at 3 in the third. Now we go. Priest Holmes, 14 yards. And then, the reverse and the end around, it's Johnny's Mutt salting his way 36 yards. Nice cut down there. Late on their drive, 2nd and goal. Trent Green. Play action to Holmes, that'll freeze you. Tony Gonzalez wide open, 10-3 Chiefs. Ravens driving in the 4th with their rookie quarterback Kyle Bowler. But Bowler tries for the 7-10 split, and he overthrows the receiver Dexter McCleon with the pick. Still 10-3. In Chiefs territory, that's Jamal Lewis with a big hole up the middle for 17 yards. And then Jamal can leap too, Tom.
Yeah, watch him go over the top here. We like to see these backs with a lot of different ways to get into the end zone.
But here's the game. It's 10-10, and Dante Hall was a Pro Bowler last year. We're putting him in already this year. The kick, he fields it as 3, and he's gone. He could go all the way, 97 yards. He's returned 3 already this year. He's returned 6 in his last 9 games. It's 17-10. Bowler, Travis Taylor, minute to go. 17-10, 36 seconds to go. Bowler going for it all. But Dexter McCleon playing a big center field today for Kansas City. And Dick Vermeil, like Mike Shanahan, wins his 100th game. Broncos are 4-0, playing next week at Arrowhead, a game that was much more defensive than we might have.
Don't kick the ball to Dante Hall. I don't know what you have to do. Don't kick the ball to Dante Hall.
Jamal Lewis, 115 yards. Priest Holmes, 90 yards. Dante Hall, the game breaker. After a bye, Bill Parcells and the Cowboys back to the Meadowlands. They played 2 games there and 1 in Texas Stadium. Bill didn't have that blonde hair when he was with us, did he, Tom? I don't think so.
Not that blonde.
The New York Football Jets, 0-3, trying to get going. Vinny Testaverde to Santana Moss, and Dallas recovers. Herm, they got to hold on to the ball. Sheesh. Ensuing Cowboys possession. Troy Hambrick through the the Jets secondary into the end zone, 31 yards, 7-3. How about that, Cowboy?
Well, Dan Campbell and Kurt Bowler is going to be the guy throwing the blocks, the guy being blocked. Marvin Jones first, and then Sam Garn second. And look how they create these blocks. They get to the second level. They are very big people up front. And you've got Troy Hambrick hitting the hole and getting through the hole to the secondary. Nobody teaches it as well as Bill Parcells.
Hambrick, 127 yards today. The guy that Bill used to have on both of his teams, Patriots, Jets, or two of his three teams. Curtis Martin, but Roy Williams, the outstanding safety, punches the ball out. It was late in the second. The Jets were driving for the lead. Meanwhile, Quincy Carter, Antonio Bryant. We saw them in the Meadowlands on that Monday night. Oh, that's sweet. It's reviewed, ruled a touchdown, 14-3 Cowboys. Jets get a field goal, make it 14-6. Fourth quarter, Carter. Look at this, Joey Galloway. Whoa now. Whoa now. Setting up a field goal, 17-6. Testaverde on 4th and 3. So the Jets run a 1-yard square out. I don't get it. Neither does Herm.
No.
And the Cowboys. He's had a few of those in this stadium. The Cowboys win by the count of 17-6. So Dallas is 2-1, and the Jets fall to 0 for. They just don't have any playmakers. In Dallas, you've seen them grow in front of our very eyes.
Yeah, Quincy Carter playing pretty good at the quarterback position, and then Troy Hambrick, I think, today. This is the thing that this offense really needs. 24 carries, 127 yards. If he can get 20 to 25 carries out of Troy Hambrick every single week, they're going to be a hard offense to deal with.
When we return, Prime Time Rewind, some game balls, some things you might have missed, some things you might want to see again. Tommy and I back to wrap it up.
NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite. Grab yourself a great-tasting low-carb Miller Lite. And in part by Visa. If you love the NFL, it's everywhere you want to be.
If you tune in late, you missed some of this. One of the most gutsy coaching calls that we can remember. Dom Capers down by 3, Houston, with 2 seconds to go. They go for a touchdown, and David Carr makes it. And the Texans beat the Jags 24-20. It was a showdown that turned out to be a shambles because Randy Moss made it one. 3 touchdown catches, 8 in all, as he and the Vikings just slice and dice the Niners and Terrell Owens 35-7. The Eagles get off the schneid. Donovan McNabb, an opening touchdown drive, and then they ran the ball well, including him, as the Eagles win at Buffalo 23-13. And this is John Kitna's bomb that we talked about to Chad Johnson against the Cleveland Browns. Kitna again giving Marvin Lewis and the Bengals their first win of the year. Our primetime performer, I guess.
My game ball is going to go to Randy Moss. And a close second was Gus Farad, but Randy Moss took charge of this football game. The 8 receptions, the 172 yards, the 3 touchdowns, and he had another long one. Call back, boom.
Well, and yes, he did. My game ball, we just talked about it. Very few coaches do this. Go for it and eschew the easy field goal and go to overtime. As a result, Dom Capers and the Texans are 2-2 and are excited. Now, look, this is not breaking any new ground, all right?
Right.
But we've done this show a lot. And it doesn't often break down like this. There were 12 games played. 6 of them, winning team, no turnovers. 4 of them, 1 turnover. Hold on to the ball.
Offense is finally coming around after a month.
That was fun.
That
Should
was
we do it in October, too?
Yes, we will.
For Tom Jackson, I'm Chris Berman. Thanks for watching Prime Time.